Mirror, mirror, my only friend, stare back at me until the end. If you only knew me, would you choose what you see? Do you see dark and empty, or light that's tempting? What do you see? Do you depend on me, or judge what you see? Are you looking at the surface, or the soul underneath? If you only knew me, would you choose what you see? Do you see dark and empty, or light that's tempting? What do you see? Would you choose what you see? Do you see dark and empty, or light that's tempting? What do you see? Do you see? What do you see? Mirror, mirror, what do you see? What do you see?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome out to another episode of What's Your Question. This one is number 123. I'm happy to be here. So much has gone on, and just before I came on here, I had this big bowl of fruit, and I sat down and I decided to put on a show. And I'm going to show you something that will make your skin tingle. I would ask any of you that are still on the fence of whether or not we're living in a predestined scripted reality. I know that I've become this poster child of that. Some of you may be sick of me saying that. But what I'm going to show you here, I would love for somebody to tell me how this is possible. How is what I'm going to show you here possible? And then we're going to get into as many questions as I can. We're going to go on rants. We're going to talk about everything and anything esoteric. We're going to talk about some astrology. We're going to take a look at the sky. We're going to give an overview on what's going on in the sky. A lot of people are just saying all this crap about it's Leo season, and it is not. The sun is still not in Leo. Don't get sucked into these people giving you false magic or a layer of magic that's not accurate with the canopy. Because I'm a stickler about precision. Everybody's right, so if you're going to go into that layer of magic, you're not going to be in tune with nature. I can tell you that. And I know that if I ask you, do you want to be precise? Do you want to be in tune with nature? Everybody's going to answer yes. Well, if you go with tropical astrology, you will not be anymore. You won't be. The sun right now, August 2nd, is in Cancer. It's not going to get into Leo until around the 8th or the 9th of July. That's why it's called Lion's Gate. If you go to tropical astrology, you know the sun's going to be on August 8th in the middle of Leo. Where the hell's the gate in the middle of Leo? It doesn't make any sense. It makes zero sense. So I'm going to just jump right into this. I'm going to show you. See if I got my button. Okay. I want to show you this. And I want to get some of your guys' and gals' opinions. Okay? So let me show you this real quick. Before I get started, I know some of you, that song that was just playing is the brand new release of Neon Soap Opera. This is my AI kind of like smooth operator music. This song is called What Do You See? It's in the description if you want to go listen to it. Okay? Brand new, we just released it today. I thought it was a pretty sick song. Came out amazing. It's all in the prompts with AI, and it's very challenging. It took me about 20 tries to get it to come out the way I wanted it to. But anyway, the description of this is in, the link is in the description, okay? So here is the evidence of we living in a predestined scripted reality. Right before I came on here, I went to Amazon Prime. I threw it on. I sat in my recliner. I was eating my fruit, and I grew up with this show. Maybe some of you have never heard of it. I grew up with this show. It's about an alien. His name is Alf. And I just started watching this when I was up in Calgary. So I turn on Amazon Prime. I'm eating my fruit right before I came on here. And the episode that came up was this one. Episode 4 of season 2. Now, I want to remind all of you, my birthday on the Gregorian calendar is February 4th. That is 2-4. So that's a big match right there. And the big takeaway, and again, I would love to hear somebody trying to tell me how this is even possible. In this episode, this is mentioned. The 7 deadly sins. And what makes this so mind-blowing, ladies and gentlemen, is last night, right there, 2:16 a.m., I started creating this presentation on the 7 deadly sins. How is this even possible? The evidence is right there. The 7 deadly sins, and the opposite is obviously the light side of it. This is the yin yang. So we have this presentation coming out But ladies and gentlemen, I just created all of these slides here. I just created these all last night. This was the big takeaway, was the 7 deadly sins are tied to the serpent and Azazel. Azazel is in the book of Leviticus, who is the scapegoat. It's in the book of Enoch. And I guarantee you the serpent in the garden is Azazel. The 7 deadly sins. Okay? The adversary of the good, of this, is this. And we're all guilty of doing both. We're all guilty of doing both. These are the polar opposites. But please explain to me, some of you, if you still think that we're not living in a scripted reality, how is this even possible that I turn this on? Where's my Alf? That I turned this show on right before I came on here and they mentioned the 7 deadly sins. How's that even possible, man? Well, I already know. This is becoming, ladies and gentlemen, this happens to me all the time. And I know that it happens to a lot of you all the time. It's kind of just like when you think of somebody and they call you. How's that even possible? Well, again, I mean, that's the evidence. I don't know how else you would try to narrate it, spin it, to say that we're not living in this reality that's scripted. That's like the biggest amount of evidence that you could ever bring to a court of law to prove the case on predestination. Anyway. So I have that presentation coming out, and the 7 deadly sins, with the opposite of that in the tarot, is the 7 of Cups. That's what it is. See if I can find that, the original. Actually, I'll just show you the digital. 7 deadly sins. Then we'll get into your questions. Right here. Right there. It's card 43. This is the True Nature Tarot, but that's the 7 right there, and that sits in the Mercury line, right there. 7. Mercury has the 7. Mercury, Hydrogyrus, Quicksilver. Right there is the 7 virtues and the 7 deadly sins, and they're controlled by Mercury and the caduceus and the electromagnetic waves. Mercury is the messenger of the as above to the so below. Okay? All right, so let's get into some of your questions here. I appreciate all of you being here. We've put out the amount of content that's coming in now, the downloads that I'm getting, I can't even keep, like, they are coming in like super, like flash, man. I can't even keep up. I can't even keep up with it now, folks. It's just coming in like gangbusters. Doing my job, man. So today's card, 7 of Diamonds, August 2nd, 37th card in the French Gregorian, 76th in the tarot. This is tied to Area 51. Whatever that means for you. Whatever that means to you. All right. Maybe because they turned off CERN. No, I doubt it. I've been getting downloads for years, but they are becoming more and more intense. More and more intense. Thank you, Angela. Yeah, I know this is a tagline that I came up with, and it's a one of a kind. I did have a merch website for a while, and it just wasn't going anywhere. I got rid of it, so this is the only one of its kind, unless I'm sure somebody will duplicate it, but whatever. All right, so let's get into some of these questions. Let's start with this one here. Let me see. Kimberly's asking, do you believe in premature death and a mature death? I'm a determinist. And what the definition of a determinist is, you're living through your fate, which is you can't change it. So if you die prematurely, you were supposed to. Your death date was already stamped before you were ever born. That is my final answer. I also want to say that, also want to tell you, if you have not gone over to the critical question, we have critical question number 5 coming out on the 16th of this month, which is a Sunday. So be sure to get over there and join in if you can. We're already booked up, but we got some special news we're going to be announcing on critical question 5. I'm just going to tell you now what it is. I had this idea. I woke up maybe a week ago, and this idea came into my mind. I want to pay somebody to do their reading. Normally, people pay you, or whoever the reader is, they're going to pay you for your service. And I'm like, the idea was like, pay somebody to do their reading. So we're going to be doing that with the critical question. For critical question 6, we're going to be paying one of you $100. I will be paying you $100 to do your reading for your kid. So if you have a kid, I'm going to pay you $100, and me and Danny are going to do the reading for you. I thought it would be kind of cool. That was the idea. So that's just more of the humanitarianism, more about paying it forward, more about changing the world through these efforts, through doing things differently. But you got to get over, become part of the critical question, and we're going to announce that on Sunday the 16th. One of you is going to get paid $100, and we're going to do a reading for your kid. So you have to have a kid. You have to be a parent to qualify. Okay? Thanks, Pam. Pamela Swan in the house, number 5. She put the link in there. I'm going to pin that to the top. So it's pinned to the top. So all you have to do is go in there and click on that. And let me just pop these up. Alan Smith's asking, how long have you been awakened for? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't pinpoint, because if I were to go all the way back to when I went to prison, I could say it started there, because I started reading a ton of books and light bulbs were going off and I shifted my energy. So I could go all the way back to 2011, 2012. But I'm not going to put a date on. I don't really have a founding date or a birthday on that. I've done DMT 3 times. It's amazing. But for me, I don't think any medicine is necessary to be awakened. But that's just my opinion. So don't let that stand in your way of doing any of these cool medicines. Spider says, no, you have to be a parent to qualify for the contest. You got to be a parent. Sorry, those of you that don't have kids. Oh, the music's not loud enough. Let's try this one. No, not that one. This one's too. Hold on, let me try to get a better one here. See how this one goes. That's a good question, Angela. Is there an age limit on the kids? I hadn't thought about that. There probably will be, because if you're over a certain age, man, you're gonna be in a different you're gonna be a different area of life. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just gonna make this suggestion, right? If you're a parent and you have not done Spotlight, I don't know what you're waiting for. Maybe it's just not exciting for you. But like, if I was a dad, I would spend a lot of time decoding my child, especially if they're young, to parent them better. But to each their own, right? So I'll probably announce that. Thank you for saying that, because I hadn't thought of that. So, but yeah, for sure. I think there will be. Johnny asks, if your life is scripted, then what are we in control of? Nothing. Nothing. You're in a movie, man. You're living out your screenplay. When you watch a movie, can they change anything? Like, can you yell at the actors and tell them to go run over that way? Some of us do. Like, oh my God, why did you do that? But the movie's fixed. But you don't have to take my word for it, right? It's not this opinion is not a popular one, because people get angry when they see the evidence of, like, holy shit, why all these things happening to me? People get angry when they realize that they wake up and they're like, I'm not in control of my life. No. But it takes some courage for some people to actually go down that rabbit hole. Because it's not because free will is something that we're told we have. The evidence goes completely against free will. Completely. Maybe your emotions. We've talked about this. But even that, ladies and gentlemen, when you study neuroscience, the studies and the experiments on the brain, it says that your brain makes decisions milliseconds, sometimes seconds before you actually make the move. Well, I don't know how emotions would be an exception to that. I've said that that's the only thing that we have free will over, is how you react to something. But I'm not even sure on that. I can't even give a final answer on that. I don't know how loud the music is for all of you, so just, if it's too loud, just let me know. So Jerry says, we're in control of our ritual, at least I think so. Okay, so that's totally fine. Like, you're entitled to your opinion, but what would be your best evidence to show me that you're in control of your life? What would you be able to present as evidence to support that opinion of yours? That's what I would love. So far, nobody's been able. I've had people try and say this and say that, and I mean, they're convinced. It's the greatest question, Johnny. What's the point? You're in a movie. What's the point of a movie? Why do you turn on a show or a movie? To be entertained, right? That's the sole purpose of watching your favorite shows or movies. You want to be entertained. Well, what if we're the entertainment? Could it be that human beings, Earth is entertainment and we're being watched? That's my final answer. There's tons of forensics that we've done presentations on that support that. The point is you're in a movie, you're an actor or an actress, and you're being used as a character. That's the point. So Michael here says, I do think you have a choice. So I will, again, I'll ask you, what is your best evidence? What would be your best evidence to support that you have choices and you make the choices? What would be your evidence that you have free will? I'm assuming you think you have free will. So what's your best evidence to support that you have free will and you're actually in control of your life? Okay, thanks everybody for the feedback on the music. Someone said it's too loud. Is it too loud? Is it? I don't think it's too loud, is it? I don't know. Christy says, thinking that I'm not in control makes me feel more relaxed. So many people say that. We try to control things. We have that urge to control, to govern everything. Like, oh, I don't want the government controlling me. I want to control my reality. What if you woke up tomorrow and you found out you're not in control of your reality? How would you feel about it? Would you be pissed? Would you be angry? Look Good Doing It says, you are the script writer too. So I'll ask you the same question. What's your best evidence to support that you're writing the script? What would you be able to provide the audience here? Examples, something that's happening in your life to support and prove that you're writing the script. That's what I would challenge you with. Ladies and gentlemen, just saying, so far, not one person has brought any scrap of evidence to support that they are in control, they're writing the script, etc. Nobody. All just these just way out of left field. Well, because I chose to go here and I went to go do that. And that's not evidence. Yeah, this is a big one. Alan points out that these words in Chaldean numerology, which is the most accurate for nouns and subjects and names, all of these words, they equal the number 17. And when you go to the tarot, the 17th card is the star. That's you. The Star is Born, the movie star, rock star, firefighter, doctor, singer, writer. 17. 17 is a prime number as well. $17, man. Okay, so you guys are saying the music's too loud. All right. Ryan asks, what prevents us from going off the script? You're in a movie. So far, the only answer I can give you to this of why you can't change your fate is because you are living through a script. So when you look at a movie, if you're an actor or actress and you're going to audition for a part, they hand you a screenplay and they say, read these lines. Don't deviate. Read the lines, act through them, give it emotions. Don't deviate away from what's written on the screenplay. So the director will tell you that. So when you watch a show or a movie on your phone or your computer or your television, the movies and shows, they cannot be changed because they're recorded. So in a sense, what Earth is, the divine pressed play, and now we're running through the play. That's why it's called theater. I'm going to go to the play and watch theater, press play. So when you press play to watch your movie, you can press pause, you can press rewind or fast forward, but you cannot change the outcome of the show or movie. Impossible. So that's the idea of not being able to go off script. And again, I just don't have the evidence personally and from everything else that I've decoded of going off. So like, I think I'm going to change the script. Because if you are going to do something, you were supposed to do it. We've talked about so many times on this channel about something, and this has happened for all of you at some point in your life, where something happens, and I've used the analogy of you're cleaning a glass in the kitchen and you're like a wine glass and in a goblet, and you got your hand in there and you're trying to clean it, and the glass breaks and you slice open your hand. And it's so bad, you got to go to the hospital to get stitches. And you go to the hospital to get stitches, and the nurse or doctor that stitches you up, you have chemistry. You're like, oh my God. And you start dating that person. Next thing you know, you're married and you have kids with that person. This happens all the time, folks. So when you go all the way back to when you broke the glass, did you really break the glass, or did the glass break for you? So you go to the hospital and get the stitches and meet the person that you're going to end up falling in love with and having a relationship with. This is just one story of countless stories of things happening in our lives. Man, if I would have been there, if I would have left 5 minutes earlier, I would have gotten to that accident. I avoided this. It happens all the time. And it's happened to every single one of us. What we would chalk up as a coincidence. There is no such thing as coincidences. And again, when I say these things to you, I'm merely giving you my opinion. You don't have to agree with me. I know some of you won't, and that's fine. All that matters is what your truth is. Because you are the star of the show. You're the center of attention. If you start looking at this reality as if you're in a movie, right? And all eyes are on you. So you become, in this reality, the most important person living today. Out of over 8 billion people, you are the most important person. living today. And a lot of people can't grasp that because they're so used to projecting themselves out into the world and comparing. And if they don't have what they have, that's called envy. Your life is not as good as theirs. Or you aspire to be something else, which is fine. You get influenced by things. But you are, all of you, individually, the most important person living today. Not my movie. Like, you may end this podcast, What's Your Question, and never come on here again because you don't agree with what I say. That was supposed to happen for you. I'm not a one-stop shop here. I've never said that. I've been open to say this is not a cookie cutter channel. This is not for everybody. Matter of fact, I'm a tiny little speck in the YouTube world. I'm tiny. We're closing in on 50,000 subscribers. Big deal. Whoop-diddy-doo. I'm a little speck. So this is not a cookie cutter channel, but I'm not coming here to bake cakes for you and sweeten your tooth. That's not what this channel's about. We talk about things that the majority of people don't want to talk about. They don't even want to attempt to talk about it. That's what we do here. We talk about the unfavorable things. The things that, that can't be true. Those are the things that we talk about here. The ideas. So Chris says, I'm convinced that if RPCS have no real governor controlling them, I'm assuming NPC. NPC is non-player character. That is what we all are. I've already supported that opinion. I'm not just telling you that all of you are a non-player character. What does a non-player character mean? You're not in control. We did a whole presentation on NPC and free will. I've done it all with the science to back it up. And I'm not the only one saying this. I'm a huge fan of Robert Sapolsky. Talked about him a zillion times on this channel. And he goes into the science of it. And then when you go into the neuroscience, it just goes against any of that, of being a player character. You're not a player character. A player character has free will and they're allowed to do whatever they want. That's not us. That's not what the evidence shows. And I know it's not popular. It's making some of you mad. Some of you are calling me names. You think I'm an asshole. Da-da-da-da-da. That's fine. I get it. Because this is not popular, what I'm talking about. It's the least popular. We covered the theology and the scripture. The truth shall set you free. You know what that led to? You're not in control of your reality. That's what'll set you free, realizing that you're not in control of your life. That's why things happen to you and you're like, man, why did that happen? If that didn't happen, this would have. If you start to reverse engineer the things that have happened, I can do it for any single person. I can just look at my card book. This thing right here, if you've never studied this, it may be Chinese to you. This is a system that is absolutely extremely accurate. But if you don't know how to use it, it's not going to be accurate for you. Just like astrology. I've gone in here, ladies and gentlemen. I've been married 3 times. I found every single time I've been married with the cards. Oh, there it is. There she is. Oh, yep, there it is. I was supposed to meet this person on such and such an age. It's all in here. But if you don't research, if you don't use it, then you're not going to be convinced maybe. Maybe it would take you studying the card system to be convinced. Maybe it would take you looking at your astrology to be convinced. Your personality. In John Wick, the movie, the high table, that's the astrology wheel. That is how you function in this reality. Through the wheel in the sky that keeps on turning. Journey. You remember that song? The wheel in the sky that keeps on turning? Journey. The journey that you're on. I can look at anybody's chart and I can tell you with a great deal of accuracy how your drives and ambitions are, what your love, how you want to be loved, how you're going to love, how you're going to expand throughout this reality, what your filters are through your identity. I can tell you all about anybody here through just astrology. And then you get into numerology, add that on, it'll just become even more accurate. Then you get into the card system, another layer, it'll give you more accuracy. And once you have all of these things stacked up, one on top of the other, on top of the other, it just gets irrefutable at that point. But if you're not willing to look at it, I understand the skepticism. Like, I can't write a formula to fly a rocket, a jet propulsion. I don't have those kinds of formulas. But I would be completely ignorant if I said, oh, those formulas are bullshit. That doesn't work. No, when they do work, the formulas do work. So if you don't understand, if you don't have the eyes to see or understand something, you just belittling it that's you being ignorant. If you really want to know what your code is, you start studying the esoteric layers that are driven into your life and how you're going to play through those esoteric codes. If you want to fall in love, if you're out there on the dating scene right now, what is going to give you the best chance of success in a relationship? Scripted or not, right? I'm setting the script aside. I'm just saying, because whatever you do, you're supposed to do it. But if you start to look at astrology and you look at your chart, you can really, really pinpoint what your best matches are, who you're going to get along with. That's the future of dating. The future of dating is with precision. If I ask every single one of you, do you want to date somebody and you're going to have to get a restraining order in 2 years from now? Would you get into that relationship? Of course you wouldn't. Now, there's no guarantee on anything, but if you know how your partner wants to be loved, that is a great deal of precision. That gives you a better chance at success and ambience in your relationship. Because the majority of people that end up meeting up, they don't have the same love signature. Just like your child. If you're a parent, you are more than likely, 99.9% of you, if you don't know your child's love signature, you're going to love the child through your love signature. That is not how they want to be loved. And you're going to mold that child, and they're not going to be fulfilled. There's going to be something missing. So if you study your child's code and realize, oh, my child wants to be loved this way, and you make an effort to love them that way, the relationship strengthens because you're now in congruency with the fate and destiny. You have to honor the child's code, ladies and gentlemen. We didn't know any better, man. I mean, I'm not a parent. So I don't have the firsthand knowledge of raising a kid. Like, I have ideas, but I've never experienced that. But if I did, I would want to know everything about that child so I can learn to massage and push that child in the areas that they're going to accelerate the best, to have the least amount of issues in life. A lot of parents push their child into the career that they were in, and the child's not bred to go into that career field. That's why a lot of people that get into certain career fields, they're not happy in them. It doesn't fulfill them. Yeah, they may get the money, but it doesn't fulfill them. That's because they're going against the code. That's why. Scripted or not, right? It causes friction. This reality is based on energy exchange. The name of the game in this reality is drama. That's how this reality operates. It likes drama. It doesn't like dull moments. It doesn't like boredom. If there was a devil in this reality, folks, boredom is its number one tool. People get tired, they get bored of doing the same thing over and over, and then they get a little bit, let's try something different, curious. Boredom is what keeps this reality moving. If you're single for a long time, you may get bored of being single for a long time. And now, just like that, you're on the dating sites. I think I'm ready. That's how this reality works. And once you end up attaching something to your life, you're guaranteed to have drama in your life. It's not even possible not to have drama. So, and I'm not saying drama is good or bad. I'm neutral with drama. I'm just saying it's energy. It's the movement of energy drama is. That's why we like to watch shows and movies that are based on dramas. They suck you in. They get your emotions. Why, when you watch a show or a movie, why do you get emotionally involved with it? It's not even real. I've been asking this question for the longest time on this channel. Why do you and me get emotionally involved with the shows that we watch when they're not real? Think about that, man, logically. Why you get emotionally involved with something that's not real. You're giving your energy to something that ain't real. Why do you do it? Because you can't tell the difference between what's real and what's not real through the lens of watching your shows on the telly or your phone or whatnot. Scott says, speaking of synchronicities, I watched a movie last night. Character told the joke. I told the same joke to a friend at work a day before. Just my point. This happens to me all the time, folks. And I know it happens to a lot of you all the time. So what is the Great Awakening? When these things start to happen to you more and more. For those of you that it doesn't really happen, maybe your lives are very busy. That's what actually prevents you kind of from awakening, is you're so ingrained with this reality. The grind, keeping up with the Joneses, trying to make millions of dollars, trying to buy your new car, trying to get your new house in the mortgage. Got to feed the kids, got to pay attention to the wife, got to pay attention to the husband. We got date night tonight. We got friends inviting us over next weekend. Where's the time of actually sitting down with yourself and really looking at your life? A lot of you don't have the time for it. You don't make the time. You have very busy lives. If you just sit with that idea, it can be very expansive. I have this quote, and it goes like this: ascension is severing ties with complexity. I'll say that again. Ascension is severing ties with complexity. This reality wants you rooted in it. And we all are rooted in it. But this reality wants you rooted in it as much as it can. And what it does is it brings you opportunities. And every opportunity that you may say, I think I'm going to move towards that opportunity. If you take on that opportunity, now you have to spend time on that opportunity. That's just called life. And that is going to make you a more complex human being. If you got one business and then you have another opportunity for another business, and you do take on that other business, your life just became more complex. That's not my opinion. That is a fact. If you have one car and you want to buy another car, you have to insure that car. You have to worry about somebody doing something to that car. You have to upkeep that car, more money. If you buy two cars, you have to upkeep two cars. That costs more money. Who's going to make the money? You got to make the money. Complexity, complexity, complexity. And there's nothing wrong with it. I've done countless readings over the years, personal readings. I can't even count how many I've done. And I've read for people that are extremely wealthy. And I'm not certainly going to sit there and say, you shouldn't be earning millions and billions of dollars. Because when I go through their code, I can see it in their code of why they're doing what they're doing. So for me to tell you, yeah, you should be a minimalist and sell all your shit, you would be going against your fate. And there is that layer of getting penalized for not following your script. There is a thing about that, ladies and gentlemen, where if you don't follow your script, you get penalized. The penalty is you had a bad week, a bad month, I had a bad year. There is a thing to this. But when you get into congruency with your chart and your numbers, and you follow the patterns of life, you get into congruency with the natural laws of this matrix reality that we live in. For example, this year, 2026, is a 1 year. 2026 is a one cycle. What does that tell you? What does that mean? What would you want to do if you want to be in tune with the laws of natural? You'd want to, this year is the year to start new things. Make changes into new things. Because number one is planting the seeds. Starting a new business, getting into a new relationship, having something, buying a new car, whatever it is, new is this year. One, change, movement into something new. Quitting your job and having the courage to go into something else that you're unsure about. That is in congruency with the one cycle. Because next year, 2027, is a two cycle. And that is when you move away from the seed and now you have to water the seed. You have to give life to what you gave birth to. That's a two cycle. That's next year. So when you're in congruency with the natural laws of mathematics in this reality, you have the better experiences. I'm not going to say that you won't have your ups and downs. I'm not going to say there's going to be a red carpet that's rolled out for you. But what I am convinced about with my own personal life and everything else that I've done with personal readings and watching this reality and seeing how it works is when you're in tune with the natural laws that govern this reality through mathematics, because it all comes down to mathematics, you'll have a better experience in life. You'll be in the flow state. But a lot of people don't know their code, and you need to know your code to then be in congruency with the natural laws that we're under to figure out what your next move's going to be in congruency with that number one cycle for this year. But a majority of people are completely against astrology and numerology and tarot and cards, and they think it's the monster's going to come out and get you. The boogeyman is going to come get you. They're under this layer of fear because everybody here was born during the Piscean Age. And the Piscean Age, if you were raised like me, a lot of you were raised in religion. And even if you don't follow it anymore, your programming still has you some of you still has you in a state of fear. Like you have doubts about whether or not you should be doing tarot. Like, oh, it's taboo. I don't want to do that. Or I don't want to study astrology because it's taboo. And the Bible says I shouldn't be doing it. See, we're not in the age of Pisces anymore, folks. These ages change. And that's the other thing about being in congruency with natural law, is that you need to be in congruency with whatever age we're in. Pisces age is melting away. Even the Bible says it in Revelation 21 verses 1. It says, there will be a new heaven and a new earth, and the sea will be no more. Guess what the sea is? Pisces, the fish, the water sign. That's what's going to be gone, is the age of Pisces. The sea will be no more. So the new boss coming in is the age of Aquarius, and that's backed up by Jesus telling the apostles, follow me into the house with a man bearing a pitcher of water. That is Aquarius. So if you want to study theology and you're backed up with that right there, it's all going to come down to astrology. The whole thing. comes down to astrology. And so if that's governed by astrology, that spell book, because that's what it is, you're governed by astrology and mathematics and numerology and Enneagram and tarot and all of these you're governed under. The more you actually start to study, the more experienced and more enriched you're going to be with your code. But you got to put the time into it. And that means that certain things in your life must be sacrificed. Yep, Randy, it is the year of the fire horse, and the horse is tied to Libra. The horse in Chinese is tied to the constellation Libra. Some people pronounce it Libra. That's ruled by Venus, which is all about what you love and balance. This year is about balancing your life through the lens of the fire horse, because it's designed to be in congruency with Libra. So you have another layer of the esoteric, not just being in a one cycle and, doing your drives and ambitions and planting your seeds, but through the lens of Chinese astrology, the fire horse is about balance, stability, structure. And then you could branch off into a whole bunch of other directions with it. Ellie in the Clouds says, I thought we couldn't go against our script. You can't. I don't see any evidence of going against it. When you study the esoteric, your personal esoteric, you will see that your personality, the way you do things, the way you're programmed, everything from when you were a child all the way up till the present moment has been fixed in a screenplay, and it's rooted in astrology and numerology and Enneagram and all that kind of stuff. So if you're supposed to do something, like I have a commercial for the Spotlight. Making the right moves comes with accurate knowledge. Study yourself, right? So people say, well, how can you make the right moves if it's already scripted? It's just a metaphor. The moves you make are the moves you make. Forget about trying to use these silly adjectives to describe the action. That's what people do. We say it's good, we say it's bad. Those are adjectives to describe the action. The action is what's most important. You can narrate it any way you want. You can give an adjective to describe the action any way you want, but it is scripted. I'm not sure what's exhausting for you. And I'm not sure what you mean about I don't see it yet. See, I will tell you right now, right? You have your opinion. I have over 1,000 videos. Okay? This is all I do for a living. All I do is I've dedicated my life to understanding how this code works. And I will back it up and I will present it. If I had to go against anybody with my evidence and theirs, I am very confident that my evidence is super strong. So while you say I don't see it from your perspective. That would be the more appropriate thing to say. So if you have evidence to back up your claims, I would love to hear them. I'd love to see them. See, because it's easy to say, I have choices. I make choices. I chose this reality. It's easy to say that. But the tallest order that I have yet to see anybody fulfill is to back it up, to show me that you actually have chosen it and you did make the choice. There's no evidence that anybody has brought to the table right now So I don't see it in your world. I completely agree, for sure. But I can tell you, I am not going to back down on my truth, because I'm the most important person in my reality, just like you're the most important person in yours. So if this channel doesn't resonate with you, if you think it's so exhausting, then maybe your truth is going to be found somewhere else. That's it. It's all about love, man. So I have no hard feelings, right? If this doesn't resonate with you, then you can simply click off and move on and find another channel that you resonate with. Because when it comes down to is, you are the star of the show and I'm meaningless in your world. My opinions and truths don't have to be yours. There is nobody out there that has a cookie cutter way of opinions and truths. We all are expressing our truths. Sure, we have some 1 + 1 = 2 truths. Like 1 + 1 = 2, that's true for everybody. When I say that you don't have free will, it may not be true for you. You may just deny the evidence that I will show you. So it doesn't have to be a cookie cutter 1 + 1 = 2 truth for you. That's really what it comes down to. I'm not here to force this upon anybody, but I'm certainly not going to back down and just say, yeah, you know what, you're right. Unless somebody can provide me the evidence, real tangible evidence of code to support that's saying I have this and I have that. I have yet to see it. And I would completely eat my words if somebody could prove to me that they have choices and they have free will and they're doing their script and they wrote it and everything else. I'd eat my words. I'm humble enough to say I would be wrong, for sure. But I have yet to see that. It's not even a matter of a conversation, Michael. If you have evidence, you can email me the evidence, decodeyourreality@gmail.com. You can give me your evidence. You can attach JPEGs. You can attach videos to show me that you have free will and choices. That'd be the best way. All right, let's get into some astrology. You guys want to talk some astrology? Let's take a look at the sky. Let's break from this conversation. I know some of you are. Let's take a look at the chart, the two-dimensional chart. This here is masteringthezodiac.com. Masteringthezodiac.com. If you're new to this is the most accurate system in a two-dimensional software program in existence today. There is nothing more accurate than this. We have two systems at play here. On the inside, we have the 12 houses of tropical. This is tropical astrology. This is the zodiac. On the outside, we have the 13 constellations. And as you can see, they're not all the same size. Now, we can verify that by going to my favorite website, stellarium-web.org. This, if you're willing to go outside and take a look at the sky, you will see that this is completely in line with the sky. Like right now, the moon is right here. It's in Pisces, right by Gamma. That's where the moon's at. Neptune's in Pisces, Saturn's in Pisces right now. Chiron's about ready to leave Pisces. This is what the sky looks like. And as you can see, these constellations are not all the same size. That's why tropical astrology is only on the inside. And what it's good for is based on the 12 segments. But it fails with positions. It's not going to provide you the accuracy of the real positions in the sky. That's why when you go to the sun right now, here's the date. Let's go to August 2nd. Okay? August 2nd, 2026. Look at where the sun's at. What sign is it in? Cancer. It is not near Leo. We have about a week to go before it enters into Leo. You're going to enter Leo around August 8th, August 9th. These boundary lines are arbitrary. Because if I take that away, the sun on August 8th is going to be in between Leo and Cancer. This is the gate, the Lion's Gate. Tropical astrology on August 8th will have the sun all the way over here, folks. This is where tropical will put Leo for Lion's Gate. What makes more sense? The gate to enter into Leo or the gate in the middle of the belly? What sense does that make? It makes zero sense. That's because it's not in line with the true sky, right? So we go all the way back and we take a look at today, August 2nd. If you're born on this day, you are a Cancer sun. If you're born on this day, you have Zeus there as well. Zeus is in Cancer, okay? We're going to talk about all this. Mercury's in Gemini right now. Mars is in Taurus, right at the tip. And Mars is about right. Mars already is in the constellation of Orion as well. Something could happen here, folks, when Mars gets over here. With being in line with Betelgeuse, Orion the Hunter, some shit could go down. We talked about this on the Critical Question 4 just a few weeks ago. I'm not trying to make any predictions. I'm not going to do that. But I'm saying is these are things to look out for. Because there could be something anywhere in the world. Right? But right now, the collective as a whole, despite any of the transits in your chart, when you go to the two-dimensional chart, right now as a whole, for everybody, we're moving through a season, which it's Leo season through tropical, yes, fire. And it's where your emotions are no longer something that you can avoid. Because the sun is in Cancer and Cancer is ruled by the moon, which is your emotions. You can't avoid your emotions anymore. They're kind of becoming your compass. And because the sun is conjunct with Zeus, there's a very strong invitation to return to what genuinely nourishes your life, because this is all about the crab and home. Some of you may be having flashbacks. Some of you may be having things return from the past. It's not just about family or the home, but it's about emotional security for everybody. So the growth collectively and individually has a lot to do with this right here, because the sun is the light of the world. And for all of us, the growth is going to come through compassion. That's Cancer, being compassionate. Intuition, because the moon is the ruler of Cancer. And really a big layer of protecting what really matters for you. Just checking to make sure you guys are with me. So a lot of you are going to be feeling like, I need to slow down. I need to, this is a time to bury the hatchet with your family. Be the person that goes out of your way to call up your family that you're not in touch with anymore, or maybe you haven't talked to your dad in 10 years because you had a fallout, or maybe your mom's angry at you or whatever. Listen, if you want to change the world, you are the one, scripted or not, to move in congruency with this astrology wheel. And this is all about compassion. With a lot of it has to do with family and your roots. Tying up old ends, burying the hatchet, getting rid of your resentments, forgiving people, even if they were the ones that wronged you, because you set the example by calling them on the phone or going knocking on their door and saying, hey, you know what, I wanted to come see you. I want to go back to how we were before. I miss our friendship. I miss my relationship with my father. And if they don't reciprocate, at least you feel good about your actions and movements. That's what this is all about. The expansion of family, the expansion of your heart. Zeus and the sun conjunct. The houses don't matter because this is at 8:30 when I started this. So it doesn't matter what house it's in. Whoops. That's irrelevant. The constellations and where they're at is really what's important here. So because this is ruled by the moon, we look to the moon and you have this big conjunction here where they're all sitting at the table. The moon, Poseidon, Kronos, and Chiron. Chiron's about ready to go into Aries. But these are all sitting together in the sign of Pisces. And this is like one of the strongest emotional signatures in this entire cycle. Because collectively, we are being asked to balance our dreams with our reality. Because Pisces is about imagination and spirituality and creativity and empathy and a lot of what Cancer is all about. Pisces is a water sign. Cancer is a water sign. These are squaring each other. So they're both in water. This energy, Poseidon is back in its home sign. Kronos is all about your karma, what your screenplay calls for. This is tied to dad. If you got Saturn in your first house, you probably most likely have some issues with your dad. Or maybe you grew up and you didn't have a dad. Because Kronos represents daddy. So collectively, if this is you, it's about burying the hatchet with family. Raising in the sense of the Christos is your illumination, your ascension back to the mind where you release all the stagnation. Pisces opens up our imaginations, and then Kronos here, because Kronos is more of a fixed energy, what it does is it tells you, it reminds you that faith will still require discipline. This is faith and Kronos is discipline. So some of you may have to change your habits and do new things that you haven't been doing. And this is the best year to do it because we're in a one cycle. So forgiving family members that maybe did you wrong, it would be a tall order for you because you're bitter about it because they owe me. They're the ones that need to come to apologize to me. They may never do that, but you going to them may allow them to see, wow, this is a better way. And you may change them just based upon being in congruency with this energy. Poseidon is all about illusions and fantasies. So it's all about dissolving illusions as well. And when you have resentment towards somebody, it's an illusion. This entire reality is Maya. This entire reality is an illusion. And then to boot, you got Chiron here. Chiron is so big, folks. When you go look at Chiron in the sky, Chiron is right here, the centaur. And you have the cross there, the centaur. And when you put up this grid, Chiron starts right where Venus is at right now. Venus is literally in Virgo, but she's also being impacted by Chiron. So this is love and wounds, healing old wounds that are wrapped around love. Love is what keeps this reality moving forward. Love is what creates compassion and a bigger essence of that frequency. So Chiron really, in the last leg of Pisces, in its final frontier, the last degree of Pisces, it's now going to be impacting Aries. And when it gets into Aries, it's going to change things. I'm going to talk about that. But this Chiron energy is all about your wounds around self-worth and trust and where you belong, because that's water in Pisces. We're all born from Pisces, the fish. We're all the fish. Two lost souls swimming in a fishbowl. So all of this combination of energy collectively can feel very emotional, like deep emotions. But it gives you the ability to heal, like a tremendous amount of healing for those that are willing to face what they've been avoiding. So if you're feeling that, ladies and gentlemen, again, it's just like simply just paying it forward, doing something nice for somebody. Like I mentioned earlier in this podcast, I said, we're going to run a contest. I'm going to pay you to do your reading. Who does that? That is paying it forward. That is being compassionate. I'm not doing it to get something back. I'm doing it because I'm in congruency of what I naturally feel in my code. I don't want anything in return. I want to do it because I like making people feel good. I like making people have their frequency go up and realize, wow, that's a pretty nice gesture. Yeah, I'm not doing it to get my back padded though. It's backed up by the chart, and then I'm this humanitarian. I have a lot of humanitarian to my layers of code. Rahu is in Aquarius right now. This is humanitarianism, folks. Rahu is in the sign of justice and social circles and humanitarianism and doing things for people just because it feels good, and the payoff that you get is you change their life. So on a liability side, you still have to watch out for illusionary things. You still have to watch out for drama and distractions, because when you have Poseidon, I mean, the moon's only going to be here for a short time, but right now it is there. This is fantasy galore right now. This is the time, if you're somebody who does creative visualization, this is the time to do it. This is taking advantage of the high table. Creative visualization is what you should be doing if you believe that you manifest things. Again, if something you manifest in your life, you were supposed to. But if you feel like, oh, I'm going to do it, this is a great time to do a vision board. This is a great time to do visualization and get into the feeling of what you want to have happen in the future. That's this layer right here. And then Mercury's back in its sign. Hydra-Gyrus, the Quicksilver, is in its own Hotel Gemini. So there's a lot of information that's moving quickly. I already told you earlier on when I started this podcast, I can't even keep up. I can't even keep up with the downloads and the stuff that's coming to me. It's like a lot of it has to do with Mercury. Mercury holds the caduceus, which are the electromagnetic waves. So there's a lot of information moving quickly. There's a lot of conversations that are going to become more dynamic. There's a lot of curiosity that's going to increase across the collective. It has been happening. People are asking more questions. People are exploring new perspectives. People are seeking knowledge in ways that can rapidly reshape their opinions because Mercury is in Gemini. So if you're going to start anything new, man, this is all about learning, networking, teaching, exchanging ideas. Great time to do it. Great time to do it. But this is also about getting your facts straight and not assuming. And again, your facts are the most important at the end of the day. And let's shift into Venus, right? Relationships. Remember, Venus right now is literally in line with the cross and the centaur, Chiron. So this is going to activate the Pisces energy right here. Centaur, this is the wounded, the healer, man, the smart. That's what Chiron is. The smart one. The wise one, the wise centaur. Well, Venus is acting through that lens right there. Because it's in line, you can see the equatorial grid here, it's in line with Crux and the centaur. So it will activate this Pisces energy right here, but Venus is in Virgo. And Venus is all about love signature. So if you have Venus in Virgo, it's going to get heightened. And relationships and values are going to be refined through this lens of Virgo. This is about consistent love. This is about devotion. This is about quiet acts of care. Because Virgo is the virgin. She's the giver. She's the service giver. I'm going to give. I'm going to serve. If you got Venus and Virgo, acts of service. You want to be rewarded. Just somebody telling you, hey, thank you so much for doing that for me. It makes you feel good because it keeps you going. So this energy, this love signature for everybody collectively, despite where you have your Venus, is all about gestures. And it's through trust and honesty and being reliable, and your word is your bond, and demonstrating through your actions. And those actions are going to be about genuinely improving your life and the people around you, because you may be, ladies and gentlemen, you may be giving acts of service, Venus and Virgo. You may be giving acts of service, and you may be helping people heal with their Chiron because of this. All because you are going out of your way to be loving towards people. That's what all of this is talking about. It's so beautiful. And because Chiron is playing into this is like the love is deeply intertwined with healing. Relationships can become very sacred spaces, and the old wounds can be acknowledged and understood. Again, this is about transformation through forgiveness. So really, this high table right now is an invitation to move beyond simply beyond like finding someone who, how do I put this? This is more about not just about having somebody excites you. Beyond that. Not surface level, not superficiality, but deeper. Someone who helps you grow. Someone who helps you heal, because Venus is in line with Chiron. Care for one another, being compassionate towards one another, genuine service towards one another. That's Venus and Virgo. She is the virgin, man. She wants to make the world a better place. She wants to make the world a paradise again. If you're not in congruency with that, you're going to miss this opportunity. And yes, is that scripted for you if you miss it? Yes, if you say that you missed it. But if this influences you to get out there and make changes in your own personal life, despite what they're going to do, that's a win for you. Because part of your graduation may just be for you to get out there and forgive people, even if they did you wrong. Because it's not about them, it's about you, even though it's about them. So it becomes a paradox. So really, the Venus in Virgo teaches that the strongest relationships are not the most dramatic. They're the ones where two people continually choose each other through the loyalty and the healing and the service that Virgo gives you. That's what this is all about. Let's shift to Mars. Mars is right at the horns, at the tip of Taurus, right at the end of Zeta Tauri. This is where Uranus was discovered. Right there. Mars is there right now. And Mars is about ready to move into Gemini here soon. But remember, it's coming into Orion. So ladies and gentlemen, this could increase drama on the world stage. Don't get sucked into that. Because that is the opposite, the antithesis of justice and peace and compassion. This could do that with Mars here. Okay? Just you have to be consciously aware of this kind of stuff. And then remind yourself too, Uranus is in Taurus. And Uranus brings revolution and change through electricity. I think this is one of the reasons why cryptocurrency has been so volatile. Right now, Bitcoin, in my opinion, is going to hit an all-time low. This is my opinion, not giving financial advice. And I'm going on the patterns of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is more than likely going to hit an all-time low around September and October. And then it's going to take about 3 years to go back to an all-time high. That's my opinion, by the way. That is not giving any financial advice. I don't give financial advice. If anybody emails you or leaves a comment trying to pretend like me, because people do, I'm never going to say, hey, you should go buy this or buy that. That ain't me. Don't get scammed. I'm just letting you know. And then we can also talk about Pluto. Hades. Where's Hades at? It's in Capricorn. It ain't in Aquarius, folks. It's in the sign of Capricorn. You're seeing it on the world stage right now. Why do you think Fauci went before the Senate? Because Capricorn is the lawgiver, ruled by Kronos, the father time. This is an earth sign. So when you put Pluto here, it's about dismantling outdated systems and authority and institutions and power structures. Why do you think all of these people are ganging up on Fauci? Because of this. That's why. This is going to be here till about 2039. We got a long way to go. A lot of shit's going to be dismantled as Hades moves through Capricorn. Earth, real estate, businesses, companies. How many companies have folded and set up? How many airlines have gone out of business? Capricorn. Pluto and Capricorn. Businesses. Capricorn runs business. Business shutting down. And of course, this is going to influence the Kronos, and Kronos is in Pisces. And then finally, you get the nodes, right? We already mentioned this. Rahu being in Aquarius. Ketu, which is the south node of the moon, the dragon's tail, is in Leo. So this energy is about releasing excessive attachment. And that is towards everything Leo, which is being validated. You don't need to be validated. You don't need to have somebody tell you that you're great and you're amazing and all of this validation, because it strokes the ego. That's why Leo is about the lion, which is the pride. The pride is the ego. So from a liability perspective, Ketu doesn't want attachment. It wants to detach. So this is ending the need to be the center of attention. Moving away from approval and moving into this which is contributing towards something meaningful. Humanitarianism. This is moving away from individual recognition and moving towards the contribution of the greater good. What are you doing for your own personal life to make this, to work in congruency with this? Or are you still stuck here, trying to get validated, trying to be the center of attention? There's a lot of people that are still doing that. And I'm not here to pass judgment. I'm just observing this reality. But if you're going to be in congruency with this chart, which operates this reality at a big level, you'd move away from the validation and recognition seeking and move into, what can I do for the greater good? What can I do to make a change in the world? It may just be that you're taking more of an interest in your child by studying their code. That can be humanitarian. These are the overviews that I see, folks, with the astrological chart. Okay? I hope you got something out of that. I hope you were paying attention to it. Because this is what governs in a big way our reality. The as above does. So when you're going from nature, you're living through the Rahu Ketu, you're moving away from admiration. And it's okay to get that, but it shouldn't be a priority. To be in congruency with the high table, what can I do for the collective? What can I do to change the world? I'm doing my part. Just doing this podcast right here is me living through the liberation of Rahu, the dragon's head, in Aquarius. I'm not doing it to get paid back, folks. I'm doing it because I genuinely care about you. Even if I don't agree with everything that you have as truth, or even if I never meet you, I still care. Because if I make a change in somebody's life and they raise their frequency, that's what changes the planet. So if you're all about being in congruency with this reality and seeing things being brought to justice and seeing, these structures being torn down and ripped apart, don't go out there and cheer. Don't get sucked into the drama. Those are all scripted to happen. Pay attention to what you can do, what you can contribute to make the world a better place. Okay? That's the most important message, folks, that you can do, man, is make the change. Like Gandhi said, be the change you wish to see in the world. You have to be the change, scripted or not, man. If I'm influencing you in something I said or something I showed you in the chart and you resonated with it, that is your sign, your call sign. That is the message from the universe. That is part of your screenplay to move towards that, to go do it. Talk is cheap. A lot of talkers out there. Okay? Michael, I'm going to leave you this one last message, man. This channel is probably not for you, okay? I don't know still why you're here, but I will tell you this, man. Everything that I have said, I was supposed to say. If you end up moving towards what I'm influencing you by, if you got influenced by anything in the astrology chart, you were supposed to. So it is absolutely not contradictory. You're not understanding the information. Once you know and move away from believing, you're home free, scripted or not. So there's no contradictory here. Like I said, I think maybe this is not the right channel for you. It's okay. Ron Starr on the Bitcoin. I'll tell you this. You may or may not know this. And I'm not the first to find this, so I take no credit. But I did all the evidence. I went back to Bitcoin when it first started, all the way through, and when it hit its all-time high and all-time low. And Bitcoin reveals a distinct pattern on the highs and lows. I'll tell you this straight up. It takes about 365 days, 364 days for Bitcoin to hit its all-time low from its all-time high. And then it takes about 2.9 years, about 3 years, for it to hit its all-time high. These are patterns that have happened multiple times through the course of Bitcoin's life. I have it documented, I just haven't brought it out. I mean, I went to Jordan, because big shout out to Waters Above. I'm like, hey, did you know this? He's like, yeah. So like, I just found it, but he knows about it. But I have it documented. I have the dates documented. That it goes down every 1 year, and then it takes 3 years, 2.9 years to go back up. So it's on track in September and October to hit an all-time low. I don't know what that low is going to be. And I'm not saying that's my final answer. I'm giving you evidence based on these records that I have found and verified. They are verifiable if you look at it. The up and down. It takes a year to go down, 3 years to go up on average. These are verifiable. But I'm not going to give you financial advice. That's not my forte. I just want to give you the pattern. My thoughts on Mars retrograde. Well, Mars is your ambition. Mars is your drive. So retrograde just means it just stays in that space for a longer period of time. That's it. So remember, you have two things at play. You have your natal chart, and then you have the collective chart where Mars is at the end of Taurus, about ready to go into Gemini through Orion. So you have, this is how astrology works. You need to, it's like baking a cake. The flour and the sugar, you got to put them together. And the base is the chart of right now. That's the flour. And then you have your natal chart. Maybe it's the sugar. that blends with the flower. And that is how you become really good at the interpretation of astrology, is by looking at the transits and figuring out where it is in the real-time sky and where it is fixed in your chart. So Mars retrograde, all that's going to do is magnify your ambitions and drives. And Mars is the ruler of the first house, and we're in a one cycle. So Mars has a lot to do with the numerology of 2026. And on top of that, ladies and gentlemen, 2026 is this card right here, the Knight of Swords. For everybody, it's the Knight of Swords. It's attack. The United States invaded Venezuela. I say invaded because that's what they did. They invaded Venezuela on January 3rd, which was not only the Genesis Block Zero for Bitcoin, but it was the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is the card of Bitcoin. It's the birthday card of Bitcoin. The Jack of Spades, the Knight of Swords. Genesis Block Zero on January 3rd. We're in the Knight of Swords. This is the Knight of Swords year, 2026. Next year is the Queen of Swords. So it's all about being in congruency. So that's kind of the word of the day here, with the energy on the world stage. And the energy on the world stage is attack. Not in a war-like state. Going and getting what you want. Going and getting what your intuition feels like. Going and getting what your mind is telling you to do. This is a perfect example of the screenplay playing out. You came here to listen to this podcast, maybe catch some comments, leave your comment, and then I go into talking about the astrology of today and what the energy is collectively for everybody else, and it hits home for you. See, if you wouldn't have shown up here, it wouldn't have hit home for you. So you were supposed to show up here. And if you don't end up making that move towards your family for forgiveness and all that kind of stuff, you weren't supposed to do that either. And maybe you have a guilty conscience about it, and you need to feel those feelings. And that is what your screenplay called for. But if you showed up here and the message for you was it inspired you to bury the hatchet with things that you need to get off your back because they're eating you up on the inside, you were supposed to be here and listen to that. I was supposed to deliver that message for you. And that's what it is about influence, folks. That's what it means to be influenced. Influenced because you were supposed to be influenced. Thank you for the recognition. I appreciate it. I really do. See, this is the feedback, man. This is great. Inspiration. If you want to change the world and you're like, oh yeah, I'm all about love and everybody love everybody. If you're like that, I'm about, like, one of my favorite movies is Semi-Pro at Will Ferrell. I love Will Ferrell. Semi-Pro. If you remember Semi-Pro, everybody love everybody, right? That's my favorite part of the movie. I try to live my life like that. Everybody love everybody. But we don't live in a world like that. But what do you want? How do you live your life? Do you live your life the way you really see it? You want it to be everybody. If you're about everybody love everybody, everybody should just get along, the world will be at a better place. Okay, great. What are you doing personally to make that happen? What have you done lately to change somebody's life so you can make the world a better place where you're living out what you say instead of just talking about it? You're actually doing it. That's what makes changes in this reality. Scripted or not. Bernie says, I'm tired of trying to enlighten people. Stop trying. Your job is not to save the world, Bernie. Your job is to become the best version of yourself. And if the best version of yourself is forgiving people, I'm not saying you do. I'm just using this as example. See, the answer is always in how you feel. So you say, I'm tired of enlightening people. Stop trying and you'll be free. Just go be enlightened. It might be that your entire screenplay and incarnation was about enlightening yourself. That is exactly what your screenplay called for. We all don't get the same character. I know we all have the same heart and lungs and we breathe air and there's this thing, oh, we're all one. No, we're not. We're all separate. We may all serve the one, but we're all separate, living out our own individual lives. Your screenplay might just be to enlighten yourself. If you're getting tired of something, then maybe you're at the end of the road for that. The word is try. Stop trying. Shift your gears. Try a different avenue. Try a different directory. Try a different disposition. Kimberly, yes, Bitcoin is predictable. It's not a secret. If you want to know, it's on my laptop and it wasn't a priority for me. I didn't want to run out there and say, oh my God, look what I found. I showed a few people that are in the market and they're like, yeah, but I have the dates. I did the dates. I did the exact dates of the highs and lows and it's predictable. Now, will that maintain its predictability? I have no idea. But if the predictability that's been the way Bitcoin has for the past couple of years, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, it's going to hit an all-time low in September and October. Five of clubs. I'm going to show you the tarot and I'm going to talk about the five of clubs. If you're a five, if you're born in the 5th, if you have a life path of 5, solar, Gregorian, you have 2 life paths. You're 5 fingers, 5 toes, 5 senses. 5 is the only number that looks like the letter S. That's why the 5th house of astrology is ruled by the sun. S, soul, Helios. So your 5 of clubs would fit in the sign. That's where that card sits, in Leo. And the clubs are fire. And if you're born in the year of the dragon, it would make that magnified even more. Because the dragon in Chinese is Leo, the lion in astrology. So if you're a 5 of clubs, man, you're very curious. It sits in the Mercury line. You're extremely curious about life. So you like to have a lot of variety in your life. You don't like to sit still. You like to try new things. You like to have your independence. Now, the liability of the 5s, especially the 5 of clubs, it can have an issue with infidelity. Multiple partners. Cheating can have that. I'm not saying you're going to have that. I'm saying it can happen. It's very well known to happen with the 5s. It's very curious. It gets bored easy. When you look at it from the tarot perspective, it changes a ton of things because in the card system, it represents I think. The clubs are thinking, fire, ideas. 5 is like the middle of the dial pad, gets all the energy. X marks the spot, 5. The letter S, sun, the dragon. So it's very curious. It likes a lot of variety. It likes a lot of independence. It certainly doesn't like to have its independence stripped away. That's for sure. It likes to have a lot of freedom. And it represents the sun because in the tarot, this card right here is the 5 of clubs, the 5 of wands. This is card number 27. And in Hebrew numerology, the word day is 27. Or light, excuse me, light. The word light in Hebrew is 27. This is the card of light. And you see, the reason why the people are fighting there, because that's what happens in the light. People have conflict. They fight. Controversy. Like most people follow the sun. Most people go to work when the sun comes up. Most people punch out of the clock and go home when the sun's going down. What happens during your day following the patterns of the sun? Controversy. I know it happens at night as well, but this is particularly talking about the 5 of wands, 5 of clubs. So this not only synchronizes with the numerology of the word light in Hebrew, but this card right here is the card of conflict. So it can lead to that. From a liability perspective, the 5 of clubs can have this is the card of drama. This card right here is the birth card of Gloria Foster, who was the first oracle in the Matrix. This is the card of the Matrix. Drama. Drama. The word religion in Chaldean numerology equals 27. What do you think happens with religion? These are all the religions. These are all the different religions. People fighting, thinking they got it right. It's the card of religion. Religion, especially Christianity, is tied to the sun. What's up, Dr. Danny in the house? The great Dr. Danny, very wise astrologer. She knows her stuff. Great to have you here. Yep, you can check out Dr. Danny's astrology website. She's got a course out as well. You can join her course. That's what's great about these communities, man. There's no competition, right? I got mine, she's got hers, Jordan's got his. Find your passion. What fuels your passion? Who kind of ignites your passion? You get a lot of variety. So it's very, very awesome. I don't know what your name is, and I'm not going to just do. MMM50 says, I trapped a raccoon last night trying to catch a stray feral to take to the animal shelter. That's awesome. Yeah, I wanted to put this here. This is a real image, not AI, and I just thought it was so damn cute. And I've had these raccoons, a family of them, visit, and they literally come right up to my door, literally almost where they'll come inside the foyer, and they're just magical, man. And they're funny because they get very defensive. Like I go out there, I try to feed them, and of course they're very skittish, and they make this growling sound. It's so funny. But there's about 5 of them that come to my door now and compete with the cats. So it's pretty funny. Yeah. I appreciate that, YouTube only. Thank you so much. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Listening to my rants, or our rants, I should say. What's up, 9 pieces, or pieces? Should you not indulge if you have heavy 5 energy? Well, the answer's in the question. Do you want to indulge? You don't have to necessarily be indulging, but definitely the 5 of clubs is a Mercury card. Mercury, Uranus. So it's very, very busy. It's very, very active. And it likes a lot of excitement. All the 5s do. But If you have a 5 life path on top of that, if you have a 5 birthday, it's going to magnify that even more. What's up, Maya? Maya says, my lucky number is 5. Very curious. Love freedom, but territorial is a negative. Well, again, having a lucky number is much different than having your birthday and the name numerology and the cards and all. Those will supersede any kind of lucky numbers. But obviously, you tack on a layer of the onion to your code, and it will deliver. It will definitely deliver. I was married to a 5 of clubs. Okay, my second wife was a 5 of clubs. She was so much fun, and see, it worked really well for me because I was very introvert. I'm more of a guy where I spend a lot of time at home. I've always been this way. When I was in a partnership, what worked really well for me with her is that she was very extrovert. She was a 5 of clubs to the T, and that would get me out of my element of introvert and get me into excitement. 5 of clubs are very exciting people. Ellen the Cloud says, I dislike conflict and drama. It distracts me from my purpose. Yeah, you're preaching to the choir. I loathe drama and conflict. I have a 9 life path. My solar life path is 9. And I resonate with it so much. I mean, I've been a hermit for 6 years now. Spend almost all my time alone. I don't really have any friends, acquaintances, but that's just the way I like it. You know, that may change at some point in my life, but again, I'm all about attachments, and the more attachments you have, the more conflict can come your way. Because when you're friends with somebody and they have drama in their life, you get the drama, right? Or at least it can come into your life, and now you got to kind of deal with it. Especially if you're a good friend. Yes, Dr. Danny, we did mention the critical question number 5. So I'm excited about it as well, for sure. My music's about ready to go off, so let's change this. You guys are talking about raccoons. Yeah, they're tricksters. You had one bark the other night. Wow. But they're very, they want food, man. They're very, they want your food, man. That's funny. I mean, look at this thing, man. That's a real raccoon, baby. Look how freaking cute that thing is, man. It's just, and the raccoon in the tarot is card number 46, and I mean not in the tarot, in the medicine cards, it's card 46, which is tied to the 10 of Cups, which is happy home. Well, we appreciate you being here, Elle in the Clouds. Thanks for staying up. You can watch it on the recording. It's going to be recorded, obviously. Yeah, their hands. It's not that they have this amazing sense of smell. If I put food out, I live in this building. It's on the second. I have to go up 2 flights of stairs, and if I put food out for the cats, because there's 2 cats I feed, I've been feeding them. They're kind of like my cats, but they're outside cats. They'll push the cats away, and they'll literally smell the food from 100 yards away. They'll come over the wall. They have to come over the wall in the back to come around the front up to my door and to get the food. And they're so hilarious because I just hear the bowls dropping on the stairs, and they make a mess. And their little hands, they have little sensors. I don't know if you know this, but in their hands, they have like massive sensors in their hands. That's why they're always washing their hands and stuff. It's really funny. What's up, Isaac? Isaac says, my spirit card is the 5 of spades. So you get the 10 of hearts. My name numerology is 5. My birthday is the 23rd. And my life path is 5, but also 6. So you get a lot of 5, man. A lot of movement. You got to satisfy that. One of the reasons why you are drawn to the esoteric is because of the 5 of spades. It doesn't mean anything when I tell you this, but that is one of the cards of Satan. It's the 55th card, and Satan in English numerology is 55. The 5 of swords is challenging the adversary of spirituality. Drawn to the esoteric. It doesn't have to mean anything though, so don't put too much effort into it. Thanks for the comment here. It's fun to see everyone who wants to know who they are. It's awesome. And then we got Christy here feeding squirrel, all these animals. Yeah, my cat, the cats that kind of saved me in a way, they're a pair. And it's just hilarious when they came into my life because, you know, Venus, Freya in the Norse mythology, I have a lot of Venus energy, and Freya in the Norse gets pulled by 2 cats, and these 2 cats show up, and I started feeding them, and you know they're feral, and now they just use me for foods, which is fine. So I give them the best food. They get tuna every day. Amongst so many other things, but I wouldn't have an answer for you on that. I'm very ignorant in that area. I don't know much about, you know, palladium and gold and so I don't have any really knowledge in that, so I wouldn't really be able to even talk about it. But, you know, the answer is in the question, as we say on the critical question. So if you're asking about precious metals, then I would say more than likely you should probably invest in some. That doesn't mean you're going to make out like a bandit. You may lose your ass, and the lesson for you through your screenplay is losing your ass with the metals. Not losing your physical ass, but I mean your money, you know. Trisha says, tuna has a ton of mercury. Please find something else to feed them. You're killing them with the mercury. We're all going to die, Trisha. And tuna is better than dry food. Everything has poison in it. Everything. Unless even if you grow your own vegetables, there's still things in the soil. I'm doing the best I can. We're all going to die one day. We all eat poison. You know, cats last about 15 years. I mean, they're getting the best life here. Whereas before they were in the streets and they were skinny and they were losing their fur. So I brought them back to life. So for me, I'm doing the best I can. Thanks everybody for being here. Someone had a pet raccoon, loved eating scrambled. Yeah, they're omnivores. It's pretty funny. Again, man, look at this thing. Look at this little baby, man. Come on, man. So freaking cute. I mean, that's like adorable right there. If it could only just stay that size. All right. I don't have any eclipse predictions. Usually what happens on eclipses is nothing. That's what usually happens. Nothing. Nothing happens. All right. So what else I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen? If you're big shout out to John Fosty up in Calgary. I went up there. He's a muscle activation specialist. He's a one of a kind. He's an amazing healer. If you're in the Calgary area and you want to go do some muscle activation, I think everybody in this world should do it. Because I've gone and done it. I don't get anything from this. I'm just giving him kudos because he's extremely dedicated to his craft. And I not only respect that, but I appreciate it. And it works. He's helped me out. I was up there for a month. He's a very loving, compassionate person. He's an 8 of Wands. He's tied right to the sun. He's a mechanic for the body. He's amazing. If you don't know what muscle activation is, you can go look it up on Google or your favorite search engine. Muscle activation specialist, and you'll be able to read all about it. They have them all over the world, but if you're in Calgary and you want to go get a tune-up by the amazing John, you can send me an email, decodeyourreality@gmail.com, and I can point you in the right direction. Let's also talk about some things that I've done for health. I started taking borax to be in particular. You know, the stuff you put in your laundry detergent? Started taking a 1/4 teaspoon of borax. Haven't noticed any effects at all, but I started doing that. Those of you that haven't, I just want to, maybe this will influence you. I went and had a full blood panel last week. I was overdue, and I'm very happy because my blood panel came back the best it's been in a very, very long time. It was amazing to see. I was really excited about it. So that was really cool. So if you haven't done your blood panel, it's very relieving to see your blood, to see what it's your oil. It'll tell you what you're deficient in, genetic markers. You know, it's like if you do the oil change in your car every 3,000 miles, you should be doing a blood panel every 6 months to a year. Especially if you're older. Peace of mind. And you don't even need a doctor anymore to read blood panels. All you got to do is order the blood panel. If you need help with that, any third party, you can get them online, especially in the US, easy to get them. It's a la carte. You go online, you pay for it. They sign you up. You go to a local lab, you get your blood drawn, you get your results through an email via PDF. You don't even need a doctor to even do anything. You take that PDF, you go to ChatGPT, and you upload the PDF into ChatGPT, and you ask it to give you a comprehensive overview of what your blood panel looks like. And it will tell you. It will tell you in great detail and great accuracy what's going on with you. If anything's out of range, it'll point you in the right direction or in a very good direction on where to go. Maybe what doctor to go see. That is one of the great assets of artificial intelligence, is in the health and wellness sector. You know, peptides are exploding. I got invited to go back into that. I used to be in peptides a long time ago. In 2010, I was in peptides. I had a buddy of mine wanted me to get back. I'm still thinking about it, but peptides are huge right now. Huge. For longevity, for healing. Amazing stuff, man. Amazing stuff that's coming down. So there's all that. And then after I got my blood panel done, this video popped up on my feed about this supplement right here, which I just got today. Nattokinase. And I've got to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I've been in the health and wellness industry, besides the esoteric, my whole life, pretty much. I always gravitated towards health and wellness. I became certified in nutrition. I was a general manager. I opened up a Gold's Gym back in 2000 in the South Bay of San Francisco. I did that for years, personal training, all that stuff. That was my forte. I was a gym rat, competed, all that stuff. So I've always been involved in supplements, trying to get prevention on the up to the up. And I got to tell you, man, I'm excited about this product. You may know about it. I was blown away at the remarks, the comments from people that have used this product when it comes to heart disease. Triple bypasses, blocked arteries, clogged arteries, just feeling sluggish. This shit right here, folks. I got to tell you, man, I have never seen so many miracle comments in my life with this stuff. Now, I don't have anything. My blood was like everything. Like I said, my blood panel was amazing, but this is prevention. But if you have any issues with cholesterol, if you have any issues with high blood pressure, if you have any issues with heart disease, or it runs in your family and it's genetics, and you may have, like, you fear that, I'm telling you right now, go research this product. This stuff, I have never seen so many positive remarks on that ever in a supplement. And the Japanese have been using this. This is actually fermented soybeans, a certain specific kind. That's why Japan has the longest lifespan, because they've been taking this. Not the supplement, but the real food. Well, now it's available, and it is on fire right now. And you could take another one called serapeptase. These are enzymes, and they clean the blood. They clean the blood, man. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not a doctor. I'm not offering you any medical advice. I'm not telling you to go buy this. I'm saying what I did. And I don't even have any blood issues, but I'm all about, I don't want any blood issues. Folks, I'm going to tell you, man, this stuff, and it's not even expensive. So I'll tell you, so I went on the hunt. Let me just open the Amazon up. I want to show you. Let me just get this ready for you. So if you're somebody who shops on Amazon, I'm just going to do it because it's easy. Okay. Let me show you. What I did was I was so blown away and impressed by this. I went and found somebody who did a whole bunch of third-party testing on his own dime, like 12 of the different brands, to tell you the reliability and the accuracy of what's in the product. And the one that let me show you. The one that tested the highest was this brand right here. Andrew Arthur Medical. It says it's measured in FUs, which I can't remember what it is, but it actually exceeds 4,000. It's like 6,500. And it's only $50 for 180 of them. Folks, it's an amazing product, man. This is the best one out of all the ones that got tested. I got the Source Naturals because I didn't have access to this, but man, If you resonate with that, if you anybody you know that has heart issues, or who's older, or who may have had a heart attack, or a triple bypass, or stents, or anything with cardio, the cardio, you might want to look into this. Because like I've told a few people, like it's a gift to somebody that's old, because it's like if you have blood issues, it's here, take this, man. Extend your life. And that's, again, not offering any medical advice. I'm not telling you to go buy it. I'm not a doctor. I can't give you that advice. I'm just telling you what I personally did, what I've done to further, for me personally and for people that I know. The product is, go read the reviews, man. Go on YouTube and go watch some videos. Your jaw will be on the floor. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And you guys, it's a product that it's a maintenance, right? You take it, it cleans, enzymes clean out. You get your blood tested again, see how your blood is, right? It could lower your cholesterol. For a lot of people, it has. Not the total cholesterol, I'm talking about like the LDL. Because total cholesterol, we've been told as a society, anything over 200 is bad. And from my research, that's hogwash. You need cholesterol for the brain. Testosterone is about 96% cholesterol. Testosterone is. So when you cut back your cholesterol, you cut back your drive and ambition, you cut back your Mars energy, because testosterone is pretty much all cholesterol. I don't know if you know that or not, but testosterone, which is what creates your sex drive and your motivation and your ambition, it's like 95% cholesterol. So these are some of the things that I'm doing, man. The borax, the nattokinase, the serrapeptase. I got that as well. It's another one. You'll probably find that if you go research the nattokinase. I've been doing xylitol after I eat. I have powdered xylitol after every meal. I take about a teaspoon of xylitol and I let it disintegrate in my mouth. I leave it in there for about 10 minutes and then I spit it out. It allows you it prevents cavities. So I'm doing that. I got the xylitol mints. These are the things that I'm doing. Then I got I trace minerals. There's another product that I like to take. I'll tell you exactly what that is. Let me show you, that I'm a fan of. Whoops. I like this one right here. I love this product by Trace Minerals. It's called 40,000 volts. It's an electrolyte concentrate. I take this every morning. I love this product. Especially being in the heat here in Mexico, you can run low on electrolytes. So it's really important. And then the other one, this one's a big one, is this salt right here is the best salt you can get. I already did all the lab testing. Diamond crystal salt, man. It's kosher salt. Ladies and gentlemen, the taste of this is different. This blows away the pink Himalayan, the Celtic sea salt. This tested the best with the least amount of chemicals. I think it had like virtually none. Diamond crystal, man. This is the best salt, in my opinion. So these are some of the changes that I did in my life, man. Because before I drink my water, I shake salt on my hand, I lick it off and chug. Because what does the salt do? It allows you to get hydrated better, because you get the potassium and the magnesium, and that makes the cells open up basically, and the cells get hydrated. So it's a very, very, very good habit to get into, without offering any medical advice or any kind of nutrition counseling. That's what I do. So when I say that it's really beneficial, it's beneficial for me. I just have to say that this is the world that we live in. So that's what I do, man. The diamond salt tested #1 out of all the salts. The best salt. The best one. That's the one I got. Got the best. So I got that, the nattokinase, I got the serrapeptase coming, the 40,000 volts. I take my trace minerals as well. I do a multivitamin. And I'm super healthy, man. My blood came back squeaky clean. Been doing watermelon. I do my watermelon puree with celery. Almost every day with blueberries or blackberries. Blend it up in the blender. I drink a liter of puree. It's my first meal, usually. I eat a lot of fruit, a lot of oranges. Figs are in season. That was the other thing, folks. That was the other scripted reality for me. I did the fig decode. All of you probably watched the Eden, and I showed you the tree of life, and the tree of knowledge is tied to the figs. Well, I go to Costco like a few days after I put out that video, and what is being sold at Costco? Figs. Yeah, again, another coincidence. Never seen figs there before. Yeah, scripted reality, man. It's just funny, man. Yeah, pumpkin seeds are good. I've also ivermectin. That's the other thing. Here in Mexico, it's ivermectina. Ivermectin. And yes, you can get it. Let me show you that. Because some of you, like, how do I get it? Well, you just go to a veterinarian site. I think it's this one. Well, there it is. Valley Vet Supply. No, that's it. Come on, this stupid cloud freak. Get the hell out of here, man. Stupid. That's the paste. Right there, you can get this one. It doesn't matter if it's for animals, folks. The ingredient, the active ingredient is ivermectin. So you just take it out, you pull it out, put it in your water or juice, and you're good to go. All these little things that you can do. They're good for parasites. Oh, yeah, also I'm doing black walnut hull, wormwood, and clove. I'm doing a product called Scram. I'm doing a parasite cleanse right now. I had some pills laying around. Well, let's do that. Clean them parasites out. You know, if you got animals, if you have dogs or cats, you're almost guaranteed to have parasites more than the average person, especially if they sleep in your bed. Yeah, I am pretending to be human. That's for sure. Apricot seeds are great. Someone said they've been taking nattokinase for years. That's awesome. I wish I would have known about it. DACA 2891 been taking nattokinase for years now. That's amazing. I mean, I would have been giving it to people that are, you know, in my circle that are older that would benefit from it. How do I consume the borax? I'll show you what I got. I got mine in Mexico, but I got, no, not that. You can just buy this. You just buy, if you go to the grocery store, you can pretty much, and if you're in the US, you can find it pretty much anywhere in the grocery store. And you just I do like a quarter teaspoon. I just put it in my mouth and I just chug it with water. It's kind of like sweet tasting. But this is... No, that's not what I have. But I have something similar to this. It's a Mexico brand. Yeah, this is what mine looks like, kind of like that. But go research this stuff. Don't just... Like I said, I can't offer you medical advice. So this is what I personally do. But if you go research taking borax on YouTube, what you're gonna find is you're gonna find people that are having extraordinary results with it. So, I mean, these are the things that I'm doing right now. I have a TENS unit and I have the slippers that buzz my feet. I've been doing that forever. It helps the nerves. Pretty awesome. Angela, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it would be good for that. But you know, diabetes is based on, it can be based on plaque. So I would imagine it would be really good for that. But you know, you're not looking for the Band-Aid, man. Diabetes, you gotta make some lifestyle changes. You know, diabetes is obviously eating too much of a certain thing, and typically, right? I know there's different variances of how that is, but if you have diabetes, man, that's easy to fix. It's easy to correct, just with eating differently. But yes, I mean, it has to do with the blood. So go look it up. Like I said, go look it up. Go type in nattokinase for diabetes and see if it pops up on YouTube. I'm sure it will. And don't take my word for it, but it's so cheap. Right now I'm doing, this is not as strong as that other one. I'm only doing 2 of these a day, which is about 6,000 FUs or something like that, which is fine for me because I'm not trying to fix anything. I'm just doing it for prevention. Keep my blood clean. I mean, really, when do you clean the blood? You change the oil in your car. When do we clean our blood? I used to do bloodletting, where you just go and they just take a pint of blood out, and your body's got to make new blood. Like, that's a way to clean the blood out. But this enzyme just freaking scrubs down the walls of the veins. That's what it does. It scrubs them down. It's like the Roto-Rooter guy going into your body. It's awesome. Yep, that's the brand, man. Nattovena. That's the brand. If you can swing it, man, $50 for 180 tablets, I think it's a game changer. I'm just saying, you go read the reviews and your jaw will be on the floor. I just cannot even tell you how many people have changed their life with that product. Yeah, it's right there. Nattokinase or kinase. I'll put it up on the screen again one more time. See if I can. Get it on here for all of you. There it is right there. Arthur Andrew Medical. Way to go, Arthur Andrew Medical. It exceeds the label, which is in this case is a good thing. And what you'll find if you go type this into YouTube, you'll find this with some other enzymes is like a knockout punch to clean the body out, man. Yep, cleaner blood, man. I'm telling you, this is it. And the Japanese have been using this, and that's why they have the longest lifespans. Because the nattokinase is, again, it's like fermented soybeans, kind of in that same realm of being. Okay. All right, so we're gonna finalize this. What's your question? Let me pull a few tarot cards, and we'll wrap this one up, like I often do. We're gonna do 3 tarot cards. I'm gonna pull a card from the Astro Astro, the star codes Astro. See if we can't get it dialed more into a celestial placement or a house that may be for you. And then I'm going to pull one from my flashcards, 1 to 100, and we're going to pull one number out and see if that may give you some more insight. Maybe it'll be your go-to number. Maybe it'll be your birthday. Maybe it'll be your day on the calendar. All of you should know what day on the calendar you were born under, by the way. What day of the year it was for you. I was born on the 35th day of the year. See, I have this memorized. And again, the more you get in tune with the code, we live in a soup bowl of code. And the more you get memorized with the code, the more you get in tune with the code. You should know what day of the year you were born under. It's important. I think it's important. Maybe it might not be important for you, but okay, one more shuffle and all right, here we go. If you're new here, I just kind of roll my fingers over and I put my fingernail in there and we pull one out. So no cheating, no sleight of hand here, none of that stuff. What's at that bottom? Oh, there's that Two of Pentacles, man. This is the Sun and Moon card, by the way. Just at the bottom, I want to let you know that's the Sun and the Moon. This card is the card of the Sun and the Moon. It's card 66. The word Helios equals 66 in Greek numerology, ancient Greek numerology. This is the card of the Sun and the Moon. Two of Pentacles, the Two of Diamonds. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Two of them because you get the Sun and the Moon. If you're on the Patreon, you'd watch the video. I have almost 150 hours of videos over there. If you want to support this research, you go over to the Patreon, you'll get almost 200 videos you won't find on a public YouTube. You won't even be able to watch them all. So we keep pumping them out. But get over in the Patreon. I pump a lot of free content out, a lot of precursors, a lot of free content over there. We got our pro bono. We just had our pro bono. I do calls, esoteric consultations, completely free. I do those once in a while. They fill up within a few hours. The calendar does. I do 10 phone calls all day long. That's all I do. 24 minutes to serve the community. Answer anything you want to talk about. Look at your code, astrology, numerology, whatever you want. Health and wellness, anything. I'm here for you. We do the pro bonos. We got the critical question. This is all humanitarianism, man. That's all we do here. This is how you change the world, in my opinion. It may not be in your opinion, but that's what we do here. Anyway, let's pull the cards here. And the question for this is, what is the most important thing to focus on in life right now? Collectively. It may be more individualistic for you, but what is the most important thing to focus on in life right now? Okay? Number one, card number one. The Moon. Now, it came out reversed. So don't be focused. Make sure you're paying attention to illusions. Shadow, the sun at night. Right now, I'm looking out my window, and I can see the moon through my window. It's not full, but the moon is illusions. Right now, it's conjunct with Poseidon, which we already talked about at the beginning of this when we went through the astrology. The moon and Poseidon together is like fantasy and illusion galore. When it comes out reversed, just make sure you don't get caught up in some kind of spiderweb trap. I'm doing it both ways because it might not be reversed for everybody. The moon is also the shadow. You know what the moon is? The devil. Satan is tied to this because Satan is the adversary of the light. The moon that comes up is the adversary of the sun. That's why the majority of people do their sinning at night. More crimes are committed at night. The lunatics, mosquito activity on a full moon goes up way over 200, 300%. So, reverse, releasing the shadow side, getting rid of your shadows, getting rid of your attachments. Upright, just don't get caught up in the illusions. Subconscious, pay attention to your dreams. These are all the messages for this card. Most important thing to focus on. For some of you, again, don't get caught up in the web, the shadow. Releasing your shadow, releasing the attachments to your dark side, the 7 deadly sins, releasing those. And then upright right here, paying attention to your emotions, emotional fulfillment. But it is conjunct with Poseidon right now, which is a high amount of illusions. If you're, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to tell you this, man. I'm just going to tell you. If you pay any attention to the mainstream, be very, very careful. Be very, very careful. That's all I'm going to tell you. Take it for what it is. I'm going to say it one more time. Anything that you watch that is part of the mainstream, be very, very careful. Second card. The Hermit. This is the Jesus card. Jesus through the tarot. Jesus is 87 in Greek numerology. You reduce it down with the tarot mapping. There are 78 cards. 87 minus 78, 9. Jesus is the Hermit. I am the light of the world. Well, is he not holding a light in his hand? This is the sun at night. The Christos, now that's the sun. The Krio. Christ means the sun, the light of the world, the risen Savior that's going to beat darkness out. Right now it's light out. Right now it's night out. Christ is nowhere to be found. But you give it about 6 more hours, 7 more hours, and guess what's going to defeat the darkness that's outside my window right now? The Christos, the light of the world, the risen Savior. The way, the truth, and the life. What gives life to this planet? The sun. Christos. Was it a real guy? No way to prove it. No way to disprove it. It's a stalemate. Can you prove the sun, though? Yes. Christ, Christianity, is the worship of light, the sun. And the moon, because the moon is the god of sin. In ancient Mesopotamia, the god of the moon is called Sin. And of course, in the Bible, Jesus is sent to redeem your sins. That's why if you go beyond Christianity and Judaism and go to ancient Egypt, which is about 3,500 years older than the Bible, you're going to find the story of Horus and Set. Horus is the Christos. The right eye of Horus is the sun. Because the sun rises in the east, that's the right side of the boat that Jesus tells you to cast to catch the fish. Because it's the right side of the brain, which is the side of the brain that runs the emotions, compassion, and love. That's where the sun rises that saves the world from darkness every single day. At night, you need an artificial light. Right now, you see me, I have a light box in front of me. I have a light behind me. I have lights over the head of me. These are artificial lights. You need them, otherwise we'd be in complete darkness and you wouldn't be able to see me. So you become this, the light of the darkness. So literally we have the moon. These go hand in hand. I mean, the moon card is the 18th card, and if you're somebody who reduces down, that adds up to the number 9. Well, the Hermit's the 9th card. See, the Hermit wants wisdom. Most of you will study your wisdom at night because the moon represents knowledge, the tree of knowledge of good and evil, because now, when the moon comes up, now you have duality. If the sun never went out, it would not only burn Earth in a short period of time, and it would extinct our world as we know it. That's the tree of life. But Jesus wants you to pick hot and cold in the book of Revelation. That's the sun and the moon. The moon is the cold. The Sikros. Zestos in Greek is hot. I wish you'd pick Zestos or Sikros. I wish you'd pick the sun or the moon. Otherwise, I'm going to spit you out of my mouth. That's polarity. Right now, the moon is up. It's all about knowledge. The moon represents knowledge. Okay? And we literally have both of them here back to back. They both came out flipped though. So some of you, most important thing to focus on in life right now is not getting caught up in illusions, but also start studying. Start investigating, because when you have it like this, you're stalled in your investigations. You're not willing to look deeper. You're too surfacey. So the message is, what's the most important thing to focus on? Go deeper. Go deeper. Some of you you won't even read a book. All right, last card, third card. Ace of Swords, card 50, the Area 51 card. This is tied to aliens, man. The word Lucifer in Latin, where it came from, the Latin numerology, 51. That's this. The Ace of Swords is tied to darkness. This is going to convert to the Ace of Spades, which is card 40. The word darkness in Hebrew numerology is 40. It's tied to the tree of knowledge of good and evil, because now you have light and darkness, light and darkness. Duality. This is tied to aliens, folks. This is tied to the scalpel. Did you see my aliens in the scalpel? Roger Lear. This is his Mercury card. So the message, you have... This simply means ideas. Truth through original ideas. So the message here for some of you is that let me pull these all three up. You're refusing, when you pull them all three like this. If I read them the way they came out, there's clarity, but some of you are blocking your clarity because you don't want to do the study. You don't want to go deep. You're stuck in your superficiality. You're not studying the knowledge. You're not going deep enough. The old ways are being done away with. And when the old ways are being done away with, the only way to get rid of and scrap the old ideas is you need to study new ideas. When you have the Hermit in reverse, man, you're not being illuminated. There's something missing. Start studying. A big message here for a lot of you is simply, even though this is tied to Area 51 and aliens, and that could be coming on the world stage, but don't get caught up in the illusions. I'm just saying. Be very careful. But for some of you, you need to put some energy into studying yourself, your code. I will talk about this because it's important to do that. Some of you, in order to move to the next level, scripted or not, right? If you don't do it, then you're going to stay in a certain level. If you do it, then you were supposed to go through that and move into the next level. In order to graduate to the next level, part of that screenplay for you, you have to take the time to do studies. It's not just going to come to you for free, man. Nobody rides for free. You got to put in the effort, scripted or not. So the Ace of Swords, tied to darkness, but it's tied to clarity and ideas. Ideas are born from the darkness. Think of birth, man. Women give birth. When you're pregnant with your child, there's no light inside the womb. It's completely dark. That's why the child usually cries when they slide down the canal, and because they're like, whoa, I'm in the light. What is all this? And you're like, I've been in the dark for, almost 9 months. I would imagine that's the reason why a lot of kids cry, because they're like, whoa, this is like super bright. Deer in the headlights. Seeds in the ground are in the ground. The majority of seeds are born from the darkness. They reach for the light. So the majority of you study at night. Instead of watching your shows, instead of being entertained by I shouldn't say meaningless. Instead of being entertained by your shows and binge watching your shows, put time into your study. And if you're a parent, I don't know why you would not study your kids' code. I just, for the life of me, I don't know why. I don't know why you just don't want to move into that. I don't know why you don't want to take any interest in studying your child's code. I don't know why you wouldn't want to do that. It should be your priority. Because the kids are the future. We are moving into a world of Minority Report. Total surveillance, perfectionism. There's going to be a lot of benefits with that. But we are moving into precision. We are moving into, I know thyself. Do you know yourself really? Like if I ask you where your Mars is at, can you tell me? Can you tell me what your drives and ambitions are? If we sat down and have a conversation, can you tell me what your child's drives and ambitions are? You're still trying to get to know them. The astrology chart is a cheat sheet. It's the owner's manual of how they're going to operate as an adult. You should know your child's astrology chart like the back of your hand. If I say, where's your child's love signature? It's right here. This is the way they want to be loved. If you don't know that, I'm not going to say you're a bad parent, but man, come on, what's up with you? Why do you not want to study your kid's code? These cards are segueing into that. It's time, man. I mean, if I ask you if you want to graduate, if there is, like in that aspect of, you're going to say yes. Well, how do you graduate high school? You got to get certain grades. You got to pass the tests. Think life's any different? It's all scripted. I realize that. So when I'm saying to study your code, if you move towards it, you were supposed to move towards it. If you think I'm full of shit and you think that I don't know what I'm talking about, great. Maybe this channel's not for you. I'm totally cool with that. You can part ways. It's totally fine, man. This is not a cookie cutter podcast. My voice is not cookie cutter. It ain't. I don't claim to know everything. I don't know everything, folks. I just don't. I don't have all the facts. I don't. I'm okay to admit that. But what I am very confident in is I'm a forensic decoder. I know the code. In my genre, man, I'm at the top of my game. I say that with confidence, not boasting. I'm saying that because I know it to be true. And I know a thing or two about this stuff. I know a lot about it, actually, because that's what I do for a living. Like, you're very good at what you do. And if I ask you, hey, tell me how good are you? I'm good. I'm really good. Well, how many years have you been? I mean, if you've been doing something for 20 years, I've been doing this now for over a decade, and I have dedicated my life to it. So when I tell you that this is extremely important, and you just like, well, I'm telling you, man, don't miss the boat. Let's get a star code. What is that? Look at that, Leo, man. The sun's going to be moving in Leo in 7 days. Leo being the sun. It could be talking about where your sun is. It's your spirit. Where is your Leo? You know what my Leo is? I have it in my midheaven position. What does that mean for me? I can tell you straight up. Midheaven is anointed. It's where the light comes in. It's your midheaven. It's where everything comes down from heaven. I got Leo there. It doesn't mean that I'm better than anybody when I say that I have my midheaven in Leo and what I can say are all the pluses for the midheaven in Leo. You are the most important person living today. Not me, man. You are. So Leo, which is kind of funny, the paradox here is that these are literally two cards from, these are all three of these cards are darkness. And then we have the Leo card. So lighten up your darkness. Illuminate yourself through knowledge. That's why in theology, man, Jesus says, be innocent as doves, but wise as serpents. Because the serpent represents wisdom. Because the serpent represents the electromagnetic waves. You can't see them, but the light that's lighting me up there, that's the electromagnetic waves. The domain of Mercury. Mercury carries the electromagnetic waves. The messenger of information. If you see me right now, the light is going in your eyes, the retina, like a web on the back of your eye, is catching that, and it's going through the optical nerve to the brain, and you form an image of me on the screen right now, and then you have frequencies going into your ear to make out what I'm saying. That's the communicator. Mercury does that. That's the job of Mercury, to carry the message to you. Essentially, the Ra, the Ba, and the Ka. The Ba would be the Mercury messenger. Ra's the sun, Mercury's the communicator between the sun and the Ka, the physical body. The waves. So Leo is the sun, which is the source of the information. And then at night, it's the moon that's the source of information. But this is the Leo energy here, man, is become the best version of yourself. Remember that K2, let me go back to the chart. Remember that K2 is here in Leo. And it does not want to attach itself to anything. This is all, if Rahu is here, it would be more about, it's about me and validation, and I need praise, and I need someone to be loyal, and I need someone to take me on trips, and I need somebody to buy me this, and I need to be the center of attention. I need to be in the spotlight. But K2's here, and K2's like, I don't want any of that shit. I want to give it away to people. Give it away. Be a compassionate humanitarian, man. Give it away. That song by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Give It Away Now. That's what this chart says here, man. This is the chart of the now moment. Okay, the Leo energy. And I'm going to do one flashcard. Just going to reach in here and just whatever the number pops out. Let's see what the number is. 8, which is the number of power. In numerology, this is the infinity symbol. It's the Taurus field. It's the number of power. It's a self-contained number. There are only 2 numbers out of 0 through 9 that you can draw without picking your pen up off the paper. The number 8, I can just draw it forever until I rip a hole into the paper, and the 0. The 1, the 2, the 3, I have to pick my pen up off the paper. So that's how valuable, that's how big this number 8 is. 8 is tied to your DNA. That's what the number 8 is. It's DNA, man, the deoxyribonucleic acid. That's what DNA looks like, is the number 8. Because 8 is the Taurus field, the sands of time, being in Mr. Sandman's domain. We move through time. Sand timer, the egg timer that you flip over, measures time. That's the number 8. It's a number of power. So in order to get powerful here, the message I have for you is to become the best version of yourself, your ego, but moving it into a space of being a big giver, but also studying yourself. Getting clear. This is a card of clarity. Getting clear about yourself. Not ifs. Well, let me look that up. I can't tell you how many times, and I know I have a passion for this. Can't tell you how many times I get on the phone with somebody to do a pro bono. I'm like, where's this at? Oh, I don't know. And I get it, man. It's like, this doesn't have to be a passion for you. What I'm saying is your owner's manual is the esoteric. If you own a car, in the glove box of your car is the owner's manual. That is what is the operating manual for the car. Well, your owner's manual is your esoteric, your astrology, your cards, your numerology. And if you don't know it, it's like you don't know your owner's manual. You live through a layer of programming. You live through much of your subconscious mind, which can be the adversary of the conscious mind. The conscious mind is not normally where people spend their time. They spend their time in the subconscious mind, which can be the adversary of being consciously aware of your surroundings. Like, how do you become grateful in your life? How do you become a gratitude junkie? You got to be consciously aware of it. Like when I'm in my shower and I'm getting my shower and it feels so good, I'm saying thank you to the solar panel. We have solar panels up on the roof here. Yeah, is it that ridiculous for me? Yep, it is. Because those solar panels and the sun, they give me a nice, hot, warm shower. And it makes me feel good. So I reciprocate. And I become a great gratitude junkie. You need to be consciously aware of these layers of your life. And that's why it's very challenging when you have a very busy life. Because life makes things complex. So I'm not saying you have to become like me, folks. I'm not the poster child of your life. The message here was pretty crystal clear. The message was that you need to understand who you are and the people that you love. If you want the best successful relationships, what's their love signature? If I say, hey, what's your husband's Venus? What's your husband's Venus? If you don't know, man, how can you tell me you know their love signature? A lot of you, yeah, I get it. You've been married for a long time. You know how they want to be loved, and maybe you figured it out and all that stuff. But those of you that are new in relationships, I can tell you right now, marriage is not in your favor statistically. Statistically, marriage is a bad investment. Statistically. I'm not saying it's cookie cutter. Statistically, marriage is not a good idea. Well, how can you flip that? How can you flip a relationship into it having good statistics? By knowing your partner. That is all this information that came out. This. Some of you don't want to do it. It's not important to you. Well, you want to get powerful? You want to have the best life that you can? Scripted or not. Again, if you move into this layer of being, you were supposed to. Maybe I'm just here to influence you. Maybe I'm motivating you. Maybe I said something tonight, or I'm just channeling this information. Everything I've said tonight, I didn't come up with it. I don't take any credit for any of this stuff. We all channel. You don't have to go into this weird, you don't have to do that to channel. You're channeling when you talk to somebody and you talk them off a ledge and you save their life. You're channeling your compassion. All right. So that's what I got for all of you. Let me just give you one last thing, the number here. 78. Compositely, they add up to 78, which is the King of Pentacles, King of Diamonds. Some of you, last message I have, some of you need to put some time into your education. Like money may be an important thing for you. That may be a priority for you. I mean, when you live from a life of scarcity, it's really hard to be creative. So for some of you, it may be about going back to college. That could be. Studying it, taking night classes because you can't do it during the day. How bad do you want it? That could fit into this because the 8 is the number of power. And how do you become powerful? Knowledge is power. So some of you may want to go to night school. Some of you may have got offered to do that, but you're being hesitant on it. It's time to move into that space, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to become the best version of yourself. Okay? All right, so let's finish this up with where's my Madruger? All right, let's do, I'm just going to play another one of this. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Thank you for Pamela for being the moderator. Sometimes I forget to thank you, Pamela, and I'm sorry that I do that. I don't mean to be ignorant of I want to respect your time. You've always been so generous with your time and loving with your time. So I do want to recognize that. Big shout out to Dr. Danny. Big shout out to Jordan. Big shout out to Jason from Archaics. All these people are influencing the world. And you know what they're here for? To make it a better place, man. That's what I'm a fan of. That's what I'm a fan of. All right, so where the hell is my... There it is. Here we go. We'll do some more. This is my other song called Just a Little Longer by Neon Soap Opera. Again, I'll leave the link in the description of this presentation, this What's Your Question. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an honor and a pleasure to serve you tonight. Thanks for sticking with me through all the rants. I hope you got something out of this What's Your Question 123. Hope to see you next time, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I got for tonight. My name is Logan for Decode Your Reality. See you later, man.
How long will you let me stay? before it fades out, before it shifts away. I just wanna stay inside this moment a little longer. How long will you let me stay? Turn it won't last, space filling the space. Still I wanna stretch this feeling out a little longer, just a little longer. Just tell us moving, head and move without us. If it's ending, don't tell me when. We're right here, somewhere in between what it was, what it's gonna be.